Let her conquer fear and fall like a soul. I run into the heat of day, like a knife I fight until the fight is won. In the rain I save each and every one till this war is won.
In the past, one of the glaring issues with the Mario series has been its nonsensical imprisonment to the series' traditions in order to gain nostalgia points at the cost of all the games growing into a gray blob capable of devouring Dubuque, Iowa. The new Mario series of games has exemplified this trend, with the only major addition to the series being same-screen multiplayer, and that did help make New Super Mario Bros. Wii the standout game that it was. In everything else, it's the same 8-world jig. Grass World, Desert World, Water World, Fire World, Bowser, and you save Peach. You'll find some fire flowers, kill some Goombas, and enjoy disguised clones of previous game levels. So when 3D World comes along with something totally different, you can definitely understand my surprise. However, the point when Mario finally escapes the nostalgia cage and runs to the hills, the mascot ironically got himself caught in the bear trap laid by Ocarina of Time, because the game starts out with Bowser not kidnapping Peach, and not even kidnapping Mario. He kidnapped some fairies and put them in jars and ate castles across a foreign land he's annexed. I know it's an old joke at 3D World's expense, but that is too much of a coincidence for anyone to stomach. Link does it and it's good, and Bowser does it to be the bad guy. The other weird thing is that these fairies do actually have powers. It's just that it's entirely based around construction. When you rescue one, they build Mario a pipe to get to the next level, and when Bowser grabs all of them, he forces them to build a ridiculous theme park in the sky. This isn't going to be your father's Mario anymore, hombre. The elephant in the room is that 3D World is following up Super Mario 3D Land more than the new Mario series, and yes, that idea sounds incredibly stupid, but that isn't going to stop Nintendo from cobbling together some more 2.5D Mario adventuring from here on out. I will grumblingly admit that Super Mario 3D Land had some varied ideas on top of being boring, useless, and a giant tech demo. But 3D World took the 2.5D platformer and rocketed into the sky. The levels in this game simply amazed me while I was playing them, and even the tutorial beginning stages for babies were dense and lively with stuff to find. Between the high timers and the gates to the worlds being collectible based, these levels are more designed to be about finding green stars than beating the levels themselves, and 3D World makes that work. It's a hell of a lot of fun finding the green stars, and that's from how expertly Nintendo hid them. The green stars are more based on platforming skill than just dumb luck. Even when the green stars force the player to have specific power-ups to grab them, it feels more like a reward for being good at the game and never getting a hit than the game just flipping you off for not having 4 thumbs on your hands. The impressive part about this entire game is that while the green star and stamp collection is a fun carrot for avoiding the stick, the levels are ripe for exploration. Outside of the linear, corridor types of levels, there are tons of huge, sprawling maps that can hide the odd 1-up and extra coins while you are looking for the secrets, and it makes the levels in the game so much more involving and substantial than your typical Mario platformer where you immediately forgot about each and every damn one of them after you hit the flag at the end. I would actually go back in this game to pick up the missing green stars to complete it 100%, and not even Super Mario World the original can hold my attention that well. Of course, the added exploration and depth to this game's levels is mostly there to justify the game's new power-up, the Cat Bell. Yes, we have to talk about the Cat Bell. The main power it gives for the player is to run up walls for a long amount of time, and a ton of the green stars are hanging around on the tops of walls, and the addition of a gliding leap is incredibly useful for bypassing any obstacle you can damn well think of. The reason why it's weird is that Mario and friends don full cat suits while wearing them, and yeah, cultural differences and I don't know. The lack of immersion in the whole cat thing makes this power-up more of an oddity than being creepy. I can meet the game in the middle, but by the end and my character is saying meow to celebrate is going to feel out of place to say the least. But whatever, the cat power-up is as useful as the cape feather, so I'm not going to lobby for its banning, just say that it's really weird. The other weird thing was that playing this game almost felt like I was seeing a love letter from Nintendo to the entire Mario franchise, especially in the power-ups. You've got the Mega Mushroom from New Super Mario Bros., the Boomerang Bro suit from Wii, the Fire Flower from Super Mario Bros., the Tanuki suit from Super Mario Bros. 3, the Coin Box helmet from New Super Mario Bros. 2, the Propeller Box from Super Mario 3D Land, and a host of its own ideas. The Bullet Bill Box, the Goomba Mask, and the Double Cherry. 3D World takes a lot of the usual homages to past level ideas of the 8-world jig, but there are no direct rip-offs of the past, and even if there are, the levels are so immersive and interesting that you certainly aren't playing them the exact same way. Super Mario 3D Land's forgettable experience works out in 3D World's favor. You would never know if it lifted ideas from that game to fill space. Of course, to suggest that is to deny the handful of levels that develop unique gameplay challenges that are nothing else that you've seen in the entire franchise and the game that they exist in. The levels like Shadow Play Alley, the Hands-On Hall, and Mountain Must Dash are inspired, intuitive, and a great way to break up the usual types of levels that you get in these games. Hell, even when the game isn't putting together these brilliant vignettes, the addition of military and circus-themed levels still keep the players on their toes for whatever the game has next to think of. And that can be said for the game's difficulty curve as well. Yes, it's still the same gentle upward curve that you've expected from the Nintendo brand, but the handouts aren't there. The million coins aren't there, and the total lack of enemy competency is not there. This isn't Mario Galaxy, and it harkens back to the old Super Mario World days, which is why instead of my experience with New Super Mario games, I only capped this game off with 60 lives in my pocket. It still shows that the live system is bullshit, but at least there's still some challenge there, and with higher stakes brings bigger satisfaction at running laps around the game until something off-screen shoots you in the knee. And yes, dear viewer, the game has its boss fights. All the Mario games have them. The difference is that 3D Worlds are better. We have Boom Boom and Pom Pom, yes, they do come back, and indeed, they add nothing to the game and are giant time wasters, but the unique bosses, the interesting ones, are showing their teeth. Histocrat, Boss Blob, Brawler, and especially King Kafunk are decent challenges and require a bit of thought into their defeats. The revisit to Motley Boss Blob actually cost me a couple lives, if you can believe that. And then there's Bowser, who shows up to party for 3D World and fights in his car cruising down an infinite highway. Yeah, it's a simple concept, and yes, Bowser throwing soccer ball bombs at Mario's party looks really stupid on his part, but the idea that you have to keep up with a moving target throwing moving targets while it's putting lava and spikes on the road is a super fun time, and then it's capped off with the Meowser fight at the end, where Bowser employs the Cat Bell and Double Cherry to become a real deal threat to the party as they ascend Bowser's tower to get to the obvious self-destruct button. Yeah, can't have everything work out in this game. The way that you play this fight out might be really annoying as well, since Bowser has a good tendency to pop out of nowhere and smack you for a loss of your power-ups as you climb. The thing across all these bosses and even the whole game is that it's all backed also by a masterpiece level soundtrack. I use Chain Link Charge's theme for one of my intro sequences that comes from this title, and while music taste is subjective, the orchestral quality and compositions that get away from the series as a standout product does show that Nintendo put some objectively higher effort into this part of the game, and it paid off in spectacular fashion. Super Mario 3D World is pretty much the reason why I've been so critical of the new Mario series, and saying that it's boring boring and just giving us the same shit that we're always expected of this franchise, while the rest of the industry is poised to give games like New Super Mario Bros. And New Super Mario Bros. U sparkling A grades and giant sales awards. It's not because I hate Nintendo and want them to die, it's not that I hate fun or whatever trolls usually say to reviewers, it's because I know that Nintendo can do better when they put their mind to it, and not just give us the same old crap just cause it's easy. It's strange how little fanfare this game had when it was making the rounds pre-development. I don't even think it made an E3 appearance going by Wikipedia, and its existence was announced on a Nintendo Direct. That's about it. And yet this game has the chops, the uniqueness, and everything you need to have it go toe-to-toe against Super Mario World for the franchise crown. This game is so well built that it decided to have 4 bonus worlds. Goddamn 4 of them! Of course you get the final uber diamond hard level that requires catching all the flags and all the green stars. I'm not going to do that because I'm not a completionist at heart, but I did make it to the end of World Star and had a ton of fun. The game still boasts the 4-player same screen co-op, and that gets an obvious recommendation. Your free exploration of the levels is going to be cut down, and you'll have the typical fight over the power-ups when one person gets all of them, but this is definitely the kind of game you want to show off to friends and have a ball playing for 8 hours. The extra dimension gives you more space to work with, and the only time you'll be killing each other is when you hit bridges and ridiculous trapdoors. Nostalgia can be a royal pain in the ass to getting new games, since it raises expectations, but when you hit one in the road that is this much of a gem in the dirt, it gives you back that feeling of playing the games you knew when you were a kid. A game that's able to hit your nostalgia right on the head. The best I can do is give it a mountain high recommendation. It's obviously not perfect. The plot is simply too silly to hit the perfect score, but damn is it close. The game is vibrant, absorbing, interesting, challenging, and has every type of level that you could want, and some you didn't even know existed. It puts Bowser back in the driver's seat, and it has every intention of making you work for each collectible and the final credits. And you'll love the ride it takes you on the entire way. This is truly the game that should have launched the Wii U and won any player should have in their collection from this console. It's simply too fun of a game to let anyone walk away from, so tie up your best friend after work and force them to play a round before the cops show up. I'll cap off this video with some final scores. And give you kidnappers a jolly victory for gamers. See you next time.